Opening up on Friday inside Bliss Hall's Ward Theater on the campus of YSU, the Dana School of Music presents their spring opera, Little Women.
This is a well-known story, American story, during the Civil War, and the Little Women.
The opera Little Women, which was written by Mark Adamo, based on Louisa May Alcott's novel, which many people are familiar with, is very popular, written in the late 1860s.
Stage director Susan Foster and music director Masook Yoon are leading the production.
Many years ago, about 10 years ago or so, at the Youngstown State University Theater Department, produced Little Women in the musical theater version of it, and I really liked it. And then the costumes were just amazing, and so I said, you know what, there's an opera version of it and we need to produce it. And then I've been wanting to do this, but this year we just had the right voices, all combinations, and we are very excited that we also have orchestra in the pit. And the last time when we did produced an opera with the orchestra was in 2018 when we did Cinderella Cendrillon by Mahoning, and so we are very excited about this, and we are coming back to the Ford Theater this year.
The composer kind of narrowed down the story. Obviously he would have to, since the book is almost 800 pages long, and he focused in on the theme of change and loss. So that's something that we feel is familiar to everyone. Everyone suffers change and loss and tries to move on from things that happen in their lives and grow up. And that's mainly what this production focuses on.
Dean Buck is the production's guest conductor, hailing from Cleveland.
I was contacted by the school, and I talked to Kivy Kahn-Lippman, who was doing the music preparation, and it worked out. And it's a great score. It's a score I've wanted to conduct for a long time, and it's always really fun to work with new people. I'd heard great things about Masook and about Susan, so an excuse to work with them, it's definitely something I would jump to do.
Oh, the music's really beautiful. It is a contemporary piece. It's in English, so everyone will be able to understand all the text. Because it's modern, people might think that it's not going to be very tonal or very beautiful, and the music in this is really lush and gorgeous.
It's not too atonal, but it's a little bit of a challenging music, and this is our most challenging music we have dealt with. This is quite ambitious work, and our students actually did a marvelous job, and they're doing it's hard work. Finally being paid off. It's just beautiful.
Margaret, if it's all right with you, I'd like to speak to your father. He's home this evening, John. Good
Erica Walker and Palmer Stilio are two of the 11 cast members in the show.
It's really a becoming of age tale, really about the main character, Jo. She goes through a lot of trials and tribulations and learning about loss and change and the things that happen when they grow up, about siblings moving forward, the loss of a loved one and grieving that process, and understanding what it might mean to learn to love someone more than just a friend. And there's just a lot of very complex emotions in this show that I think everybody can relate to.
I play Friedrich Bär, and he is a German teacher from Germany who moves to the United States and ends up meeting Jo in the second act. The show is really about the four sisters. It's first about innocence and childhood and just having fun, and then as they get older, some realize they need to grow up and do adult things, and some don't really want to do that. So then there's a little drift between the sisters, and it's about how all four overcome all of that.
know, I think a lot of people think that opera is difficult. And opera really is, it's really based on human emotion, and what we really try to do is help our audience feel something. And we hope that people will give opera a chance.
It's really beautiful. Mark Adamo, a really terrific composer. There's so much of it that is, it gets described as accessible a lot. That's very consonant. There is a lot of very singable melodies. There are earworms. You will leave humming the melodies, which is not always the case with modern opera.
They should expect to hear some lovely singing throughout the entire thing, a great story. It's been told many different ways. There's a book, there's a movie, and now we're doing an opera version, which people have probably seen less. And there are little bit differences, but I think the live performance, seeing it in person, and with all the singing is definitely a lot different than the other stories.
There's a little bit of humor, so some of it is actually quite funny because I will say Jo is quite dramatic. She, very dramatic actually. There's heartbreak, sadness. You will probably cry because I cry every time I perform it, actually. And crying and singing is really hard to do.
Beautiful costumes, beautiful singing. Well, everybody knows the Little Women, so it's already, my neighbor told me, like, oh, I see that you guys are doing Little Women. This is one of my favorite stories. I cannot wait to see it. She's not an opera goer, but she said, I'm going to be there with my daughter. Everybody will be loving this performance.
Showtimes for Little Women are Friday at 7:30 p.m. with a Sunday matinee at 2 p.m. Get your tickets in advance at ysu.tix.com.
And as a musical experience, it is one that I think no matter who you are, you will enjoy. So I think no matter what your experience is with classical music, with opera, with the theater, there is something in the score for you.
We want to show people how hard we work. That's the point of this whole thing. Is it's not for us. I mean, it is. It's a great learning experience for us, but the real point of it is to give the audience a great time and making sure they had a great night and hopefully learn something along the way too.
Countless insurmountable hours have gone into the show, even outside of class time, and we've all worked really hard. Also, this may be one of the last full-staged operas we will ever do here at YSU. So it's very important and very heartfelt for all of us doing this show, and it's very special for us.
I think you'll really love to hear these voices. They're young singers who are proving their craft and improving every day, and they have worked really hard. We would really love to have a great audience come and support them here at YSU.
What better way to spend the time with the family in the opera, with the great American story than this?
717 Credit Union. Savings power to give your business an extra boost. Business savings, certificates, and business money market. 717 Credit Union. Make your money work as hard as you do. Check out our business money market and CD rates at 717cu.com/rates.